Welcome to Confidence with Katheleen, hosted by me, Katheleen Diggle. Hey, welcome to Confidence with Katheleen. Today my guest is Tasha Welsh. Tasha, thank you to accept to do that podcast with me. You know, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks
and
for
welcome.
Me. Thank you.
So, why ask you first? There's a lot of things we will have to talk. We already talked maybe too much too, but we have a lot of things to say. But first thing that I really want to invite you, it's about the Acuscope. You know, I know we work together with the Acuscope. We can talk about it a little bit later. But I'm feeling sometimes people doesn't know. When I suggest to someone, hey, maybe you can have the Acuscope that can help your horse, that can do that, and they don't know what it is and what it does. So that's why I invite you to try to give your point of view, your experience, and explain us a little bit what is the Acuscope, what it does on the horse.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So I was like a lot of people, I didn't know a lot about it. There's so many gimmicks per se in our industry. I had heard about it. I'd heard actually probably results that sometimes are too good to be true and you're like, surely not. And I had a colt get hurt, and somebody that I trusted and respected in our industry had said, you need to try the Acuscope MyoPulse on it. It'll cut your time in half. So when you're talking tendons, ligaments, you're like, okay, sure, in half, that's a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And so I had a tech come out, and she was treating this colt, and she actually had a 3-horse minimum to come to me, which was fine. So I threw a couple other ones in there, still not sold on it. And within a week, I seen a huge difference on all 3 horses. And I was just blown away. So I was like, I have to have this in my life. And literally an injury that was supposed to be 8 months was less than 4 months, 100% back to running, not even riding, and never had a problem again. And so I purchased, went to training, learned about it, and just still to this day, just blown away at the results we see with both horses and humans. And it's a human, it's FDA approved, and it started out as a human practice and moved to the horses, and it's been in human over 35 years and in horses in over 25 years. So it's not something new. Sometimes people haven't heard about it, and it's something that has been in the horse industry for a while, and I think it's just really, really starting to catch on. But when I started doing my research on it, you know, you start seeing Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, these great athletes that were like, I wouldn't have been able to, this literally changed my career. Like, I had career-ending injuries, and the Acuscope and MyoPulse literally gave them their career back, and that's all they used. So when you hear like the top athletes and people, and then you bring this over to our horses, and it's healing top horse athletes, and of course you and I have got to work together on some of those athletes, and we've seen it hand in hand, like what it's done and changed these horses. It's been incredible.
Okay, so but how it works really, how do you decide where to put, the plate and things like that, and how it works? Can you work just one place, or you can work on all the horses? How do you work with that?
So that's what I love about it. Every horse you can treat as an individual. You can do full bodies, you can do maintenance, you can do injuries. I mean, you really don't have anything you can't do with it. And literally you work on each athlete as an individual. And so what it does is it works off a cellular level. And so it's going to go in and basically break up the cells. So the cells in us or horses is like a car battery to a car. So like if your car battery is dead, your car's not going to run right. If your cells are dead and not working correctly, the body's not going to run right. It's not going to heal right. It's not going to produce right. Like on everything, whether it's an injury or just normalizing, just an athlete. So it's so great, like when a horse gets hurt, cells die around that area. So this goes in and it just basically like recharges those cells and teaches the body not necessarily teaches it, but opens it up and breaks up those bad cells to heal itself. So if done correctly, it has a 50% minimum rate of speeding it up. Like, that's huge. And we've seen even 65, depending on the
injury.
Yes, but so it literally goes in and it's doing the body's own microcurrency and making the body heal itself at a faster rate. So everything is working off our own body. So I always say it like goes in and like recharges the horse and the cells in it like you would recharge the battery in your car, and literally just opens everything up and makes the body heal itself.
It is.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, go in.
But that's why it's great, is even like a horse that just has pain, just a little sore, it's great because it goes in and just recharges those. And so it's not only for just injuries. Like, we've done a lot of injuries because it's so great for injuries, but like I've had horses that literally I've worked on and they've went a year without needing anything else because we just do maintenance on them and keep them feeling good. And so when the body's feeling good and using itself normally, it's not as prone to injuries as well. So it's great for everything.
Okay. So, but like when you have an injury, when a horse had an injury, sorry. So when a horse had an injury, how often do you suggest? I know it's probably more individual, it depends on, but if even like, because I saw horses that they really like open the skin and everything. So how often do you suggest to do that? And how long is a treatment on that too?
So it takes about an hour to do a treatment on a horse, and it depends on what you're doing. The bigger treatment, the full bodies, it takes a little bit longer because you are plating the entire horse on a full body. You have spinal openings, like if you have just like a foot or a cut or something, it doesn't take quite as long because it doesn't take as long to plate up. And so it's how you do is you plate the injury or the spots. We work a lot off of acupuncture points as well. You and I have done that a lot together, and we've had just amazing results. And so then the Acuscope has a thing called biofeedback. So it goes in and it's going to read in between your plates or off your acupuncture points, and it's going to give you numbers. And off those numbers, it's going to tell you, yes, the cells are good. Yes, we have a lot of work to do. Or they're bad. And so that's also like learning where to go. And so we kind of base our treatment plan off those numbers a little bit. I always say like something very chronic, something very minimum 5 treatments in a row is amazing. And that's what I've seen. We've seen the best results with is just 5 in a row. Maintenance, just overall, they're going to feel better after the first treatment. But I think something very chronic, very painful, the more the better with anything. But anyways, back to your biofeedback, it's going to go in and is what you're looking for is normal numbers.
What is the normal number?
So every Acuscope reads a little differently. I had my older unit, it was like a normal number was 130. My new is 106. So you kind of learn, each tech will know off of theirs what is normal and what's not. Anything over 100 is pretty good. We call it normal. So anything below that you need work. And then you also have a thing called gain. So sometimes depending on what it's reading, you're going to hit your gain. You want your gain to be 0, but it can go all the way up to 10. It sounds confusing. It's not as confusing as it is
right now.
But it's just, you have so many opportunities to really help these athletes with this.
Okay, but can a horse, is that mean like you said 100, 106 or something like that, that's good number, but when they have injury, can they have like a 0 over there?
They can.
Okay.
Yes, so they can have a 0, and that's when we use our gain to try to get up. So like some horses, you may need a 5 gain to get them to even read numbers. And then your goal is to have them over 100 by the end of your treatments. So, and usually if it's that bad, it's not going to happen the first time, but we get them there, and that's when you really see the results. And that's just telling us those cells are finally recharging. They're opening up, they're getting back, they're getting the blood flow, they're getting where we need them for the body to heal themselves.
Okay, perfect. Another question, because I know I saw that makes a huge difference on different horses. What about EPM?
It's great for EPM. I really love it. it just opens everything up again. You know, the way our bodies, their bodies are, everything has to flow. The cells have to open. It's all about blood flow, circulation.
Is it a special treatment when you do, can you do like the EPM and an injury in the same time, or you do just the EPM?
Just the EPM. You can, you can't, it's hard to do it all. The EPM is, we've done it together. It hits them pretty hard.
It's a hard treatment.
It is, and it's great, and I think it is great to just open them up, and it makes your medicine work so much better. I don't think, like, I've never healed one of EPM just with the Acuscope, but I think it helps your modern medicine oils, whatever you choose to really work and go in, and it makes the body accept it and heal it that much faster.
Do you suggest to do the EPM treatment while they are taking their medicine, or after, or whatever?
So I love to do an EPM opening first and treatment first, and I think it just clears everything out. We have done a few together where we've done the Acuscope and the EPM treatment, and it has been pretty hard on some, so it's a little bit case by case
to see.
But if it's very, very bad, I wouldn't do both together. I think it's too much on the horse.
It's too much on the horse and too much on the kidney too. I'm feeling, that's what we figure it out.
Yep. So I think it's great to do it first and then after hit them again with it. And some horses need just one treatment to really open up, and some need a few, and then start with your medicine.
Okay. And is there a case that, or time you said, oh, I cannot do it on your horse?
There's been a few. It's rare, but if they have it really, really bad, we try to bring it down just a little bit. Yep, because at the end of the day, like, our goal is always the best interest of the horse. And so I would rather do a slower approach. It may take a little bit longer, but it's easier on the horse.
Okay, but if the horse, you know, goes to the vet and they inject or whatever, can you do a EPM treatment after that, or can it go again the injection, or if they take other medicine, is there things like that? So
the Acuscope will pull out injections, so you have to, some say 10 days, I always wait 2 weeks to use the Acuscope after injections. And I think we have figured out over that a lot of times injections bring out EPM, so it's not a bad, and the EPM treatment's not going to hurt a horse, so I never would rule that out.
Okay, perfect. But when you go to the vet and after that, you cannot have the, you cannot have the Acuscope treatment on the, like if they inject the front feet, so you cannot do the Acuscope on the front feet, but can you do it another place? Can you work on something else, or you better do nothing for 2 weeks?
I suggest nothing.
Okay.
That would be my suggestion, but I know other techs have, and I'm not saying it's wrong.
No.
I just think that just let those feet calm down, let that medicine really settle and get in there, and let's not risk it.
Okay.
And then once we know that's good, then we'll address the EPM or whatever else needs to.
Or the other, if it's another part of the body.
Yes, I have, like, if they get their front feet injected, I've done like back feet, you know, a hock or something like that. If the horse just, say they had their front feet injected and they roll and get a hock hung and it's sore and they need to go, sure. Or if they have an abscess, it's great for pulling out abscess. So if they get their front feet injected and they have a back abscess, let's do it. I'm not scared of that stuff. But
okay, can we talk about kissing spine? You know, the horse that they had the surgery, or they have kissing spine.
Yes.
Is the Acuscope can be good on that?
It's amazing. Acuscope's so good for scar tissue. So it really, really reduces scar tissue. I can't imagine the cells after a surgery like that. And so it's just really, really good at keeping those cells healthy, the blood flow through their circulation, everything. I think the Acuscope is amazing after kissing spine surgery.
Perfect. And so we made different tests. We did, seriously. And for me, like, when she did the Acuscope, you know, each time you change the frequency, sometimes she doesn't, and I still connect on the horse, she doesn't tell me, but then she changed it, and I'm like, I won't say the word, but I'm saying, holy shit, what did you do?
And every frequency, there's certain ones. She had the same reaction on every horse. And I would turn it and I'd just wait for it.
Yeah, and she knows. And every time I was like, okay, which one? It's she started laughing like that at me all the time. So, but it's really funny because I'm not saying, we made some different tests, you know, so when I stay connect on the horse and to feel if the horse likes it or not, or if it's too sensitive, or if it really works on the like stomach or things like that. It's really, anyway, even me, I learned different things, but we have a lot of fun of doing experience, and that's what I'm feeling too. And I don't know if you agree with that, but you know, you are part, when you have the Acuscope, but when you are part of a team too, it's not just the Acuscope, it's like the Caro, the Masso, the vet, and me, and when we all, and the farrier, when we all work together, my God, that makes a...
Agreed. It takes such a team. It really does. And I think, like, I was so blessed to have you when I very first started using it. I had great instructors and great teachers, but at the end of the day, nobody can feel a horse like you can, and nobody knows what it feels like on a horse. And even just the different treatments between, we had an incredible athlete that was going to the American, and he had a bad stifle, and just moving the plates just this much, you could tell me, oh, that really helps or really doesn't. And I can remember, like, when we first started working on horses, you would tell me where it was hitting on this horse, and we were doing a full body and how it was moving throughout the horse. And that's the beauty of the Acuscope and MyoPulse, is it literally goes and finds the spot that horse is sore and clears it out. So it takes like the guesswork out of it for me, but you could tell me, like, oh, it's hitting here and it's clearing this out, and you would see, and that mare's hair would be standing up, and it was so incredible. So I was so fortunate that I had you right beside me, because we learned so much about what the Acuscope and MyoPulse could do on the horse together. And I learned so much from you that nobody else could teach me, that I still use every day, because I just feel like I'm so fortunate.
I remember too that sometimes you just those plate, and I was like, oh, it's the stomach, and I was burping or things like that. It really, and the horse, they are very reacting and very sensitive. I am too. She did a treatment on me, and oh my God, I was a drama queen about it. I can say it. I really was a drama queen. I'm very sensitive, and it was really hurting me. But I'm very sensitive. So, but it was fun to compare, you know, what I'm feeling on me and on the horse. But yeah, so it was really fun, but I'm very dramatic about it.
and that's another great thing is we do have, like, there's different intensities, so you can turn it really far down, or you can go higher depending on, horses are the same way. Some are more sensitive and some are less.
And there are some that she just really turned it, and I was like, okay, that's enough. That horse was like, okay, I cannot handle more. Yeah. And it was fun to work together.
It was, and that was one thing else I learned, is just watching and reading the horse based on you communicating with the horse, and I could learn, like, the frequencies, and, like, okay, when they do this, I need to turn it down. When they this, I can go up. And I think that just helps the treatment that much better.
Yeah, and respect, because the horse sometimes I'm feeling we had some that they were scared the first time, and I have to stay connect with them and make them like, okay, calm down, and there, it will be okay, it will be okay. Do you remember it was, we can talk about it a lot.
Yes, all day. We can sit here and talk about all
the experience that we did. But you did it because I saw on human too, you know, that you help some athletes, some people that broke their arms or things like that. It's really helped a lot.
It's amazing. And I broke my hand, and I was supposed to have surgery, and I never have, and it's been amazing. And
but I'm sensitive, you are not.
No, I'm a little tougher.
Yeah, you are a little bit tougher. But it's really, and now it's good.
Now it's great, yep. And I used to have to do it every day to kind of get through, and now when it gets so, I can throw it on there and do treatment, and I may not need it for 2-3 weeks. And if I do something. It's been a great tool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. But there's something that we need to talk about. I know. So we saw you last year and at American with Thor and things like that. Can you talk about what happened to your horse, to that big boy?
So we made a run at Stephenville at the Pro Rodeo, and I felt him try to turn the second and kind of slip and have issues, and he tried to turn the third, and then I knew on the way home he run so hard, and I just knew something had happened. So I was like, he either bled or tied up or something had happened. Well, we come out of the arena and he was just full body shaking. And so I got him in the trailer, and it was late, and I got him home, and I couldn't even back him out of the trailer. He was so crippled. And I'd actually thought he'd tied up because he was just completely muscle locked and bound. So the next morning, of course, I called you and just hysterically crying like this is my world. And you said it was his hock. And not that I didn't believe her, but he was literally dragging his leg, like non-moving. And so I had thought it was I hoped it was an abscess. But when they're that lame, either an abscess or broken leg, or tore stifle. So I had really thought he'd torn a stifle, just the way he was dragging it behind him. So went to my vet, and sure enough, it was the hock. So he had shattered the hock. Multiple vets had told us just to put him down and not even try. They didn't even think he'd be breathing sound. So thankfully, again, with a great group of people, a great team.
And I think you have faith too.
Yes.
You really pray God, and
yes.
You really ask for a good answer, and you got them.
Yep. So he had surgery, and it was risky, and we had a couple different ways to go about it, and we decided to go with the more risky and the highest chance for him to run again and still be a breeding stallion. And he came out of surgery, and it's just been like, you would never know. He's not taken a lame step, and we still have, a ways to go, but we're very positive, and it's really unbelievable the recovery he's made. And of course he gets Acuscoped, and I believe that's been, as well as a lot of other things, a huge tool to, yes. But
so when are you going back to the vet? And
so I actually texted my vet yesterday, and we were just chatting about a few other things, and I was like, well, Thor goes for a recheck in January, and she says, see you January 1st, question mark. So it was pretty fun. But so in January he'll have his first kind of recheck,
and after that you will know if he can go back to breeding and running. Or
so we for sure know he'll be able to breed, which is huge, because we're obsessed with his babies. They're amazing, and they have so many great qualities like him, and just that high level that as a breeder you strive for, as a trainer you can't wait to get on. So we're really excited. At least we get that from him, and then of course icing on the cake would be able to run him again. So
I hope so for you too. But talk to us about those babies.
They're just, I love a super feely, light-footed, soft in the mouth, worky horse, and there's just every single one of them you get on, and they're just quick-footed and light and want to do their job and love it as much as you do. And that's one thing I've always loved and respected him so much, is he gives me everything every time, and he has so much try and so much heart, and you just don't know if a stallion's going to pass that on to their babies. And he has. Every single one has that, and it's pretty phenomenal. We just sold a 4-year-old to a gal, and her first pro rodeo, she went in there and she said she had more confidence than she did, and went in there and just did great. And so it's neat, not only like in my program and the people around me seeing how amazing his colts are, now other people are getting it, and I just get messages and calls every day of even from babies that they're just like, this is the best baby I've ever had. And we sent one off, a 2-year-old, to get broke, and the guy called me, and he's like, what is this? And you don't ever know, and you're like, it's a Thor baby, and he's like, I've been doing this for 25 years, and this is the best baby I've ever broke. So it's neat to hear those positive from other people we respect in this industry. It's awesome.
I'm very happy for you, and
Thank
I'm
you.
happy too that it will, come back to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and you've been a part of our journey from the start. It's been pretty
I know,
fun.
But I remember the first day you went to see we were at Will Rogers.
Yes.
I was with you.
Yep. You've been there from the beginning.
Yes. Other thing, so yes, you have Thor, you have the Acuscope, you have other horses, but you have twins too.
Yes.
So how do you manage, everything? How can you handle that? And what is your plan for the next year too? And
so the twins are great. They're 3, so fun. And again, we've talked about it's a team. It takes a team. And I try to be very routine, get up, spend my mornings with them, eat breakfast with them, then go out with the horses, and we train, we ride, we have some sell horses in, and then try to eat lunch with them. And so it's all about just a
routine.
team and routine. And so this next year probably won't rodeo as much. Hopefully Thor will come back and we can take him to some, but I have some really fun futurity colts that I'm excited about, and some 2-year-olds.
So you will go more on the futurity. I know you like it.
Yeah, I love the futurities. I love training and
I know
the
you
babies.
love it.
Yeah, so I love the rodeos, and Thor deserved to have his chance, but my heart's definitely in the futurities.
In the futurities, I know that. So if people wants to have appointment for you with the Acuscope, I know you prefer, because for you it's easier when people come to your place.
Yep.
So how they can book a session or things like that?
So just text me, send me a text is probably the easiest, or get a hold of me on Facebook.
Okay.
Yep.
And but they go to your place, you don't go that far, because for you it's...
Yeah, I try not to travel too far. If I do, I have a 3-horse minimum, and I don't leave Stephenville often.
Yeah.
Just with everything going on, it makes it hard
For you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you.
It was so fun.
It was so fun.
And I'm very happy that to be able to be a part of, that you are part of my team and I'm part of your team, and to work together. I'm feeling that makes a huge difference.
Yes, a huge difference.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time with me. Please make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe on all my social media, and don't forget to leave me a review. If you want to learn more about me, visit my website, horseconfidence.com with a K, where you can also order my book.